Hi, welcome to another lesson for strumming the ukulele. Today's lesson is on example number 1, the blues strum. This is in reference to the lesson on how to understand and play the blues strum. So at this time you want to go ahead and tune up the ukulele and also grab your music sheet that says example number 1, blues strum. And we'll get started in about a second. Okay, so you got your music sheet. Want to talk about that first before we get started. So we're going to be playing this particular strum with the downward blues strum that we learned previously in this blues strumming technique. So if you haven't done so, you need to go back to that tutorial, learn that first before you do this one. Now if you were unfamiliar with a lot of blues styles strumming or the progression of the music, let me go over this with you quickly. So you can see, like, the first line has a chord G7 and then you see 4 lines under it. The lines basically means the strums per chord. Okay, so you see a G7, a C7, and the lines beneath it, that means the strums per chord. Now if you look towards the very middle here, or the ending of the music, you see a G7 and a C7, and you see 2 lines under the G7, 2 lines under the C7. That means that there are 2 strums each per chord on that line, which is also called a turnaround, and I'll explain that in a second. But once again, on that particular turnaround, that very last line in the sequence of music, it's 2 strums for the G7, 2 strums for the C7, 2 strums for the G7, 2 strums for the D7. Okay, now what a turnaround is basically in blues music, or just about any kind of music, a turnaround symbolizes that you're coming back to the beginning of the start of the sequence or the start of the song. So I labeled it in front of the music, beginning. So that means after doing the turnaround, you can go back to the beginning and repeat the progression or sequence as many times as you wish to do so. And basically that's the formation or the formula to this particular blues exercise. Keep in mind that whatever blues song you play, or actually the blues music in general, can vary in the form or formation of the chords and the structure, but however it basically follows this format. Okay, so in other words, what I'm trying to say is that the chord progression might change. Not so much the G7, C, and D7, that's going to stay the same throughout the song, but the changing of the chords may fluctuate a little bit, but that just depends on the person that's playing it or the artist that has written the song. And keep in mind that it just follows the, not necessarily G7, C7, D7, but a 1, 4, 5, 7, excuse me, 1, 7, 4, 7, and 5, 7 formation structure to the music. Okay? Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the song twice. I'm going to play it with the count, which is basically 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next time we play it after that, I will not play it with the count. It'll just be the song and the strumming itself. So let's do it together. I'm going to be counting along just to give you a kind of like a guide to the strumming that was review in our previous lesson tutorial. Here we go. Here's a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so by the way, I'm using a finger brace strum, and you need to refer to the lesson that's pertaining to the finger brace strum exercise for the right hand technique. Okay, so this is the example for example 1 for the blues strum, all downward strokes. Now I'm going to do it again but this time I am not going to do the 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, it's assumed that you understand the concept already, but if you need to, pause the tutorial here, try it again, or back it up to the beginning and try that exercise again. Okay, so we're moving on. I'm going to give a 4 count, okay, and then we'll start the song, and it will be without any counting. Here we go. Start you off with here a 4 count. We're in the G7. Your diagrams are located on your music sheet. Follow along. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now keep in mind that after the turnaround, you just go back to the beginning and repeat the sequence. Okay, so in other words, where I stopped, so in other words, if I'm playing the turnaround, which is the last line in the sequence, G7, C7, turn around, G7, G7, go back to the beginning. That's all it is, and keep repeating the sequence. Now, this particular strum, you can speed it up if you want to, and you can also slow it down. And if you do slow it down, it really gives a really bluesy kind of effect. So in other words, if I were to play it slowly, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can really see that the slower you play it, it really gives a bluesier sound. In fact, you could even play it slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can really get the idea. So once again, the speed of the song, if you vary it, allows you to get a different feel to the blues song. Okay, once again, the first half of this lesson, I'm counting along. If you don't have this smoothly at this point, you want to go back to the first half of the lesson, try it with the counting. Now, if that's still a little difficult, you want to go back to the previous lesson tutorial that talks about the blues strum, where it breaks down the strum so you understand it, and then come on back to this lesson. Okay, once you are comfortable and you're ready to move on, we shall see you for the next lesson.